Welcome to It's Rafiq. In this video, I am going to discuss the concept about programming. Chapter 4, Class 7 Computer Science, Introduction to Programming Concepts. In this age or in this digital area, for young learners like school-going children, mainly in primary sections, it's very important to learn codings or programmings. It helped to gain problem solving skills, like to solve a problem in logical as well as in creative way, which will help them to solve mathematical problems also, even to solve some physics problems when they will know about the basic concept of programming. Coding also enhance thinking ability and enable one to think logically, strategically and analytically. So there are different advantages of programming or codings. So at this age it is very much necessary to learn about programming. So let's learn about these things only. What is programming, why we need it. So first, a computer requires some instruction to perform any task. When we give any task to do in our computer, it needs some instructions, and that instructions are written using a specific sequence called computer program. And to write that program we need specific language. That language is known as programming language, and the person who write the program is known as programmer or coder. And there are many types of programming languages like C, C++, Java, JavaScript, Basic, Python, VB, COBOL and many more. According to our need, we'll use any one of them. The programming language must follow some specific rules while writing program. It is known as syntax or grammar of the program. Like when we speak in any language or when we write something in any language, we must follow some rules that are known as grammar of that language. So same in programming also. When we write programs in any languages, we must follow some rules or some syntax. This is known as grammar of the program. The evolution of computer languages is known as generation of programming languages. It is also known as levels, like low level, high level, etc. There are various generation. There, first one is first generation, or sometimes we call them as machine language. The first generation language was used in 1940s. It is the lowest level of programming, means the computer programming started from the machine language. And here in computer used only two signals, which is high voltage or low voltage, or 1 and 0. That's why it is known as binary codes. To write program in first generation, the programmer used binary codes. These codes can be easily interpreted by the computers. The first generation languages were mainly used for first generation computers, which were very big, like in room size, and they were slow and they directly work with the processor. Next come second generation language and or low level, or also we can say assembly language. Assembly language was developed in 1950s. It was considered a great help for what? It is used mnemonic codes or easy to remember abbreviations rather than numbers. In first generation computers we used only binary numbers like 0 and 1s, but in second generation instead of 0 and 1s we are using here mnemonic codes. Like suppose I want to add two numbers, so instead of writing 0 and 1s, here we will write add. For subtracting we can use SUB, or for multiplying you can write PR, something like that. Means we are using some short codes and numbers to write the program, so which make easier to write the program. Programs written in assembly language required a translator to convert the program into machine language because still the computer understand only machine language. So when we write any program by using assembly language, it must be converted into machine. So we use a particular software to do that. It is known as assembler. Assembly languages are in improvement of machine language. This level details required to write assembly program is very high, and chances of making mistake while writing program in assembly language is also more. Moreover, assembly language is written for a specific processor. Means if we write a program for a particular computer, that program cannot be reused for another computer. For each computer we have to write different programs, and there are very high chances to make mistake while we write assembly languages. So the programmers or the scientists develop one new language or one new generation of language that is known as third generation of computer languages or high level languages. A program language which its programming statement are not closely the internal characters of computer is known as high level language. In high level languages we use some basic English words to write the programs. It's exactly like mathematical statements rather than codes or numbers. So it is very easy to learn and very easy to write programs. Anyone with basic knowledge can understand what's going on the program, but in assembly language it was not, and even it is very fast than the first generation and assembly languages. These are advanced computer languages that do not depend on the type of computer used. Means on second generation language or first generation, the language or the programs were machine dependent. Means when we can write the program only for a particular machine, but in third generation the programs can be written for a variety number of computers like computer, laptop, mobile devices. It does not depend just for one program. The third generation language evolved as the most useful and programming language in 1960 and 1970. And here we need a translator to translate our high level language into computer understandable language, which is machine language. There are different languages which comes in first generation like C, C++, Basic, C Sharp. This all the languages are in first generation. Then come fourth generation language. It is very high level, means it is the advanced version of high level language. It is a programming language or programming environment designed with a specific purpose to development of commercial business software. Mainly to develop the business softwares we use the fourth generation languages. Some advantages are the instructions are like English language, so no need any problem to learn this language. Anyone who understands English can easily learn this type of language. These are non-procedural, increase the productivity because programmers have to type fewer lines of code to do something. In third generation or second generation we have to write all the things ourselves to do something, but here we have libraries. Here we'll write only few lines and call the instruction from the libraries, so we can save time by using these libraries. That's why it is more advanced than the third generation. Some fourth generation languages are APL, CSP, AS, SQL, etc. Then come the fifth generation. We can also call them as AI, artificial intelligence. In 1990s we saw the development of AI, and now at present maximum things are dependent on AI, like we have voice assistants Alexa and Siri, we have automatic self-driving car, we have Google Maps. These all are dependent on AI. Fifth generation languages are designed to make computer to solve a given problem without much involvement of the programmer. This way the programmer only needs to worry about what problems need to be solved and what conditions need to be met, without worrying how to implement a routine or algorithm to solve it. Fifth generation languages are used mainly in artificial intelligence research. This means computers now have ability to think themselves and draw their own interfaces using program information in large database. Some example of fifth generation languages are Prolog, OP, S5 and Mercury, etc. These are mainly to control robots, controlling voice assistant, controlling airplanes, controlling self-driving cars. For these purposes we are using AI or artificial intelligence, and which is a very much important part of programming at present. Now, language translator. Whatever program we write in computer, nowadays we are writing by using English only, and which is not understood by the computer. So we must convert them into a form which is understood by a computer. To do that, we need a particular program that is known as language translator. The language by which we write a computer program is known as source code. Means normally we are writing English language to write the programs. That particular code is known as source code, and when we convert the language, we'll get a different language which is understood by computer, that is known as object code or target code. There are various type of translator. They are assembler. An assembler is a utility software program which is used to convert a program written in assembly language into machine language, and vice versa, like from machine to assembly. The programmer can write a program using source code. The code is then specified to the assembler program when they run the program. The assembler program can take its statement in source program and generate a corresponding stream of patterns like 0 and 1s, and that output is known as object code. The object program can be run whenever desired. Assembler is used only in assembly languages. Then come compiler. A compiler is an utility software which is used to translate high-level languages into machine languages. And in a compiler, all the files, means whatever code we write, all the codes are compiled or converted at a time. So it is faster than the assembler. And even we can compile more than one files together at a compiler, and we can create a object code or a target code which can be run in the computer. So the compiler is much faster than the assembler, and here we compile all the codes as a whole, not by separate. Then come interpreter. An interpreter is a utility program that translates the source code written into intermediate code and immediately execute it line by line. And remember, when we compile a program by compiler directly, we get the executable code, but in interpreter we get intermediate code, not the executable code. That intermediate code can be executed later on line by line. The compiler compile the program as a whole, but interpreter convert the program line by line. Some languages which use interpreter are Python, Basic, COBOL, etc. The disadvantage of the interpreter based language are that it has no memory to store the translated lines. Every time a program executed, the source code has to be converted a phrase. Some high level languages are Basic, Python, COBOL, etc. And there are some languages which use compiler are C, C++, C Sharp, etc. And Java is the only language which use both compiler and interpreter. some important terms of programming. Modular programming. Modular programming refers to the technique in which logical part of the problem are divided into series of individual interchangeable routine so that each may be programmed independently. It is called top-down or step-wise refinement. Now suppose we got a task to make an ATM. So in an ATM machine there are different type of tasks like withdraw money, transfer money, check balance and all. So what the group of programmer will divide it, or the programmer will divide the tasks into multiple small module or parts. Like for withdrawing money one part, for depositing money one part, for checking balance one part, and will develop independently each part. And later on, when all the parts are complete, we will join them and make the whole system. This is known as modular programming. Then the next one, procedural programming. Procedural programming refers to the function and execution of the function in a step-by-step linear order. It emphasizes more procedure than data. In procedural step, what we do when we develop any software, we have to go always step by step. We cannot make it on our wish. Like on modular programming, all the parts we can develop independently. There is no rule that part should be built at first. But in procedural, we have to go in a line by line. Like in your academic, first you have to pass class 1, then you will go to you will promote it to class 2, then 3 and so on. You directly cannot go from class 1 to class 10, isn't it? Same thing work in procedural programming. We have to go in step by step. Then the next one is OOP or object oriented programming. In object oriented programming, program is no longer a series of instructions but a collection of objects. These objects can be both data and instruction, and that is assigned to class and can be performed specific tasks. In object-oriented programming, we can reuse the part of a program. Like suppose for inputting data, we are using one particular function. That function can be reused in anywhere of the program. We don't have to write the code for the part again. So these things can be done by creating an object or a class of it. That things can be done in these languages like C++, Java, C#. In these languages we can use objects. Then the next language is event driven programming. Programming code that executed in response to an event is called event driven program. Events are the actions or notifications that are used to initiate a code or execution. Now suppose you are opening an calculator app. You type number 2 plus 3, and when you will press the equal sign or equal button, it will give you the result. That is known as an event. Means when you press equal, then only you will get the result. Unless you press equal sign, you will not get the result. But nowadays some calculator gives automatically. But these are known as event. When you click some buttons or some part of the software, then it will do some work, or sometimes even it can do automatically when the time is completed or when it meet particular conditions. And normally here using GUI, means graphical user interface. We'll have buttons, we'll have icons where we can click and use the program. And example of this program is Visual Basic or VB. The last one, rapid application development. The process is rapidly creating application without extensive or pre-planning is typically known as rapid application development. Visual Basic is example of widely used rapid application development language. In rapid application development, we don't follow any rules. We don't have any rules. Directly we can suppose any idea came into our mind to create any app, we'll directly start creating on it. We'll not do any planning, we'll not do any step by step process instruction to make the software or to make the application. We'll just randomly create the application, and that is known as rapid application development. So if you are interested to learn programming, Python is the most easiest one. You can start from learning Python. You can search in Google about Python, or even you will get in next class in your book about Python. From there also you can learn. There you will know how the programs work, what is the logic, what is the syntax, how does it work. If you have any confusion, you can write in comment section. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye.